We can now move on to our next segment. We will proceed to our live Q&A session. We have invited 4 panelists to take part in our Q&A. I'd like to take the opportunity to thank the panelists and quickly introduce them. We have Tuna Hazar from Baike Global Logistics, Farid Safarzadeh from Barbaran, Iran, Roy Ternent from Logic Solutions, and Tinumawanga from Middleport Freight. Okay, I think we have them all on screen now. We have a little bit of difficulty reaching Farid. Farid with us? I don't know if he's having some connection issues. He was with us up until 15 minutes ago. David, do you know if Farid is still on the screen? Is this a technical issue, or is he just not with us anymore?
His camera is just off, but he's with us.
Okay, so Farid, can you hear us? I don't think he's reachable. Okay, we'll give him maybe 30 more seconds to try and see if he can reestablish his connection. And if not, we will move on with the others. Okay, perhaps I can already go ahead and ask the other panelists the question, and if he joins us, then he can take on from there. Okay, so today we have our panelists with us, and we're going to discuss about just a quick talk on the new normal in the COVID era. So if I can ask Roy to just quickly let me know, how has COVID impacted your business and in particular your country in positive and negative way? Roy, are you with us?
Yeah, there we go. I can speak to you now. Yes, it's Melvin. It's an interesting scenario, I think, for everybody worldwide. The impact of COVID has affected people differently. We certainly in South Africa have taken the brunt of quite a severe situation. We were not prepared in any way to handle this kind of pandemic. Certainly the country itself was not set up to handle it. And financially, over the last couple of years, you know, we have, as a country, been depleted in terms of our economic status. So, you know, initially they locked us down, and it became a situation where everything was difficult to trade. They took a stance on it had to be essential, straight off the pack, nothing, no general trading, and they closed small businesses, medium-sized businesses down. The large businesses managed to continue to trade, but the effects of that was almost immediate. You could see an increase in crime in the country. You could see people who had less money. People were starting to have other issues that came about because of this pandemic. So certainly the immediate effect of it has had a dampener on the commerce in the country. You know, right now they've sort of lifted it up to level 1. We are business as usual, other than a regular sort of status of an occasional update with the number of infections and the number of deaths in the country. We're sort of surviving through the process, and you know, it's like business as usual. People are visiting restaurants and places of business and doing what's necessary to try and keep the economy going. From Logix's point of view, we've actually done extremely well. We took a stance right in the beginning to try and control our losses, because nobody knew what the effects of COVID would have on our business. Nobody knew how it would affect our customers and our partners. So we took a very hard stance on it and cut back dramatically on everything we were doing. It was the right decision at the right time, and we managed to get through the first 6 months with very little effect on our business plan. And since then, we've managed to grow. On the contrary, we've had a fantastic year against some very, very, very hard situations. So it's not been that totally negative to us as a company. And thank goodness to our worldwide partners who have all sort of kept us going and kept the inquiries and kept the business coming our way. So it's made business a lot easier and survival a lot easier. So thank you everybody for sticking with us during this difficult time. But certainly South Africa is open for business, and we look forward to trading with everybody else as usual.
Good to hear. Good to hear. Great. Fareed, you may want to share your thoughts on how COVID has impacted your business and in Iran. Fareed, can you hear us? Yeah, I'm not sure if Fareed can hear us. So, Tuna, you want to take over? Yeah, Fareed, are you with us?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we
Hello
can.
again.
Go ahead.
Thank you very much for the privilege to give me to speak about this important issue, because this has been the entire communities all over the world since over 1 year. And we are all suffering, and more or less, as Roy truly mentioned, it has been affected entire countries all over the world. Right. But the shape of approaching and the reaction of the people, business people and the normal people, ordinary people, has got different scales. I believe that to our country is concerned, we are based in error that we have so many neighboring countries with from the southern ports, Bandar Abbas, Bandar Imam, and other ports. We have connection to the Gulf area, to UAE, Saudi Arabia, Oman, Kuwait, Bahrain, and there is a route for the Southeast Asia, including China. Right. And then we have Pakistan in our bordering southeast border. After Pakistan, we have Afghanistan, and then Turkmenistan. And Turkmenistan is a route to entire CIS countries and in that region, such as Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, and Kazakhstan. And from the north part of Iran through the Caspian, we can go easily to Armenia, Georgia, Azerbaijan, and Turkey, including Iraq. So you can see that so many border towns our country has been surrounded by. And we are talking about over 250 to 300 millions of inhabitants all over this region. As soon as the COVID was announced in China, unfortunately, it was a time that China was open for holidays and for vacations of a new year, lunar holiday, Chinese New Year holidays. So this virus become spread all over the world. And the first country, unfortunately, impacted and affected by this virus in Europe was Italy. So Spain has got experience on that. 100 years ago, they had this influenza, which was killed more than 50 million of people all over the world. So it is more or less similar. If I can give you some statistics about our country, then you can see what's going on since over the last 1 year in Iran. So the number of people who has confirmed cases is over 1.8 million inhabitants was confirmed as a infected cases. And unfortunately, we had plus 62,000 deaths during this time. And nowadays, due to starting of New Year, so-called Nowruz in Iran and all Persian language speaking, like Tajikistan, Afghanistan, somehow in Turkey, Azerbaijan, and other regions. So starting from 21st of March. Now we are in the third day of a New Year holidays. So the people are traveling a lot, and these traveling do not observe the actual social distance. They're not going to respect that. And the people getting tired and tired. It is not a matter of our country, it's all over the world, because the people need to feed themselves, including their own families, which are living on the same umbrella. So they need to work. They need to help their business to run and move forward. That is why the people even they don't care about wearing masks. They are not caring about sanitizing and similar issues which has to be respected anyhow. By the way, the first impact into our activities was when the Turkish border was closed by the Turkish authorities for over 3 months. You know that maybe, I don't know whether everybody knows or not, Turkey is a bridge between Europe and Asia. So we have a lot of imports by truck from European countries, including Britain, Great Britain, UK, to Iran. And by that time, over 500 or 1,000 trucks, full trucks, was just stopped and blocked at the border. And Turkish government was suspended, and they didn't allow those cargoes enter into the country. And can you imagine the medicals, pharmaceuticals was standing at the border for over 3 months. And the validity of these commodities and pharmaceuticals is going to be expired. So we suffered a lot of issues, and we faced with a lot of challenges during that time. So the same happened when we had the sea freight from abroad into Iran and vice versa in export basis. The only mode of transport and the field of activities which was very brilliantly activated was the air freight. But air freight, for instance, for commodities, we pay $2 per kg. We had to pay $12. It means 5 to 6 times more. And very few airlines was activated during the COVID-19, especially Qatari. Qatari was very active. So Turkish Airlines was suspended service. Emirates was suspended service. A lot of airlines became bankrupt. For instance, Emirates, you know, in Dubai, there is more than 2,000, 3,000 people has already been fired from the.
Right. So it seems like this truly has impacted Iran more than any other country. I mean, you know, we take it for granted, and it's quite. I can see that there's a lot of passion and emotion behind your answer, because this is unlike any other situation. Anyway, moving on. Maybe Tuna, you can tell us a little bit about what it's like with you in Turkey.
Yes, actually, Mr. Ferit has summed up everything, especially about Turkey also. We are a very cruel country, right, Mr. Ferit? We blocked up the borders and everything about shipping. But anyway, of course, COVID has, impact on many countries and companies also. Not only logistics, but also in variable sectors, it has bad effects on. And we have been also affected as a company, as Baykar Global Logistics, by COVID in terms of cargo volume and as well as payment terms. Payment terms got we were affected in very bad way, because most of the companies actually got bankrupted in Turkey, because imports got suspended, almost suspended from China, because the freight rates has been like doubled, increased tremendously, and the volume of the shipments have downturned a lot, and this directly influenced our industry. And we are now, especially for the sea freight, we are now having like half level of the business that we used to do before, or we used to operate before. But on the other hand, for the air freight cargoes, it has increased a lot, especially from Turkey. We are one of the main exporting countries to Middle East. and also North Africa. So those cargo levels, especially via air, has increased a lot. But for the sea freight, as I mentioned, also we are suffering a lot, especially specifically for finding equipments, finding space, and handling like a smooth operation with the steamship lines is quite tough now, because they are using like half level of their fleets, and this is really hard now to find space and organize sea freight shipments. And on the other hand, also for the financial, in terms of financial side, as I mentioned, many companies bankrupt, and we are suffering to, you know, getting our remittance, and we are not being paid by most of our customers. But thank God to our, you know, reliable partners, we are still going on, and we are keeping up with it. So we will get used to live with this situation somehow, and hope this pandemic situation will recover soon in a global manner. So we will have those meetings again in person together, I hope.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for sharing your view on that. Tino, maybe you can tell us about Zimbabwe and what, how has it impacted your business and your country? Tino, are you with us? Yeah, I think we've lost the, yeah. Go
Yes,
ahead.
sir. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
Right. Maybe since I didn't get the opportunity to introduce myself briefly, like what the rest of the guys who had the opportunity to do so did, can you just allow me in 1 minute to introduce myself and say, Tino Mongasho is my full name, but you can shorten it to Tino, and it will be more convenient, I know, to most people to just call me Tino. Midreport Freight is headquartered in the capital city, Harare. We have other branches in almost every entry port into Zimbabwe, especially the entry ports by road and by rail. And then our headquarters, like I clearly indicated, is in Harare, the capital city, and we have a branch office at Robert Mugabe International Airport, which was formerly Harare International Airport. Briefly, that's what I can say about Midreport Freight, and we will be very happy to handle consignments into Zimbabwe. Please don't hesitate to give us consignment, thinking that COVID has stepped out all our hope. We're still quite hopeful that despite the devastating effects of COVID-19, we should be able to pull through. What we require is a collective effort. Wherever you are, whichever part of the globe you are based, let's please work together, especially to try and eradicate. If we can't eradicate, we lessen the effects of COVID-19. They are so bad. Here in Zimbabwe, it badly affected air freight consignments, because most airlines had to abandon flying their route to Harare, which affected the outgoing and incoming air freight cargo to a very large extent, such that people were almost mourning. But well, with road freight and those coming in by sea through ports that are in our neighboring countries, not much was affected. We're still able to at least handle a few, which perhaps managed to keep us afloat. This is why we're still able to be part of this momentous occasion. This pre-launch that I'm currently participating in is a result of the fact that we could not, being able to attend the pre-launch virtual meeting is a clear indication that we have remained afloat. We have managed to withstand the pressures of the COVID-19 pandemic. Of course, we have felt the effects, but it has not brought us down to our knees. And I hope everyone should be encouraged to have the same resilience so that we continue marching forward, coming up with solutions, cooperating with those who would want to ensure that the pandemic is eradicated once and if it can't be eradicated, like I indicated, it must be brought to manageable levels to the extent that it doesn't remain a threat forever.
Right.
So everyone will be happy to be part of the Middleport Freight Juggernaut. We will be moving with you as we go forward.
Perfect. Thanks, Dino. I appreciate your comments on that. Since we're running short of time, I'd like to club my next two questions and then quickly go through it with you. I'm going to club the last two parts. And what do you think are the changes that will stay on? Some of the things that we picked up during the pandemic, and also the last part of the question, when do you think that we would return to pre-pandemic levels and the outlook for the region, especially for Middle East and Africa? If you can just take 30 seconds each to just quickly tell me how you feel when we're going to, what the changes that would stay on and when we would get back to what your best estimate is for your country and the outlook for the region. Roy, starting with you.
Hi, yes. Okay, well, in terms of what is going to be the new normal, I think humans are creatures of habit, and we are going to get back to doing things the way we've done business in the past, face to face, in the way we've done it. It's certainly going to become a situation where things are going to get more competitive. Rates are going to start becoming normalized again. You're going to find with the loss of a lot of businesses that have had to close down because of the effects of cash flow and things like that, we are going to find a whole lot of new players in the market. So, existing relationships, I think, are going to be critical, and finding new relationships that are solid and are well supported is going to be the way moving forward. I certainly think from a South African point of view, we're going to grow. There will be definitely, we still might maintain the same sort of levels of standards for the next 2 years until they or we are able to get everybody inoculated and everybody back on their feet. But thereafter, I think we're going to see the world and South Africa in a big growth spurt. And it's going to be very positive. So that's my feelings over the future.
Thanks. Tuna, when do you think we're going to get back to pre-pandemic levels, and what is the outlook for Turkey and the region?
What I believe, actually, by time everything will be same again. I don't know how long it will take, but one day it will be, and the effect of this virus will be altered somehow, and the level of deaths has been already decreasing. People will understand it will be almost same with the flu, and we will get used to live with it. And also in terms of economical situation, the economy cannot afford it no more. Especially I'm speaking for Turkey, because most of the, we have been locked down for so long, and it affected very bad way to many companies and many sectors. So it cannot stay like this for a more long time. And we will recover, and we will again start living like as we used to do, because we have to. So yeah, it will be part of our lives, and we will go back to our previous lives again soon, I believe.
For Iran, when do you think you would return to pre-pandemic levels, and what is the outlook for Iran in the coming years? Fareed, are you with us?
Yes, I'm absolutely with you. The problem is that in order to unmute my mic, it will take a couple of seconds. Frankly speaking, this is not the question of Iran or Turkey or South Africa or America. This is general issue, which is the international and global battle. So the face is different in each and every country, but frankly speaking, we have to be in a very realistic way of thinking. And what will be the changes? There are a lot of changes, you know, because we have got a lot of lessons from pandemic and from virus COVID-19. Some was absolutely negative because we have lost many friends, many people, very good people, good human beings, unfortunately. Especially, I would like to take this opportunity to thank all the medical team all over the world who has given their own life to safeguard the lives of the people who was sick in the hospital or at home. And this is very appreciating. However, it is not appreciated all over the world. But I would like to bring this issue today in the platform, just to remind them that we never forget you. You guys has done a very great job. But one thing which is very important in our business is to come forward faster to the digitalization, you know, because digitalization is a crucial, is a must in future. But if we would like to complete this task within next 10 years or next 5 years, it has to be completed within 1 year. So it has speed up to become in a platform to be attracted by the digitalization. And we have to go to be more IT based rather than physical based. This is one lesson we have taken. And also, if we want to be optimistic, I can say within next 6 months or next 1 year, the situation might return back to normal, which is not. But if you are more realistic, as Roy truly mentioned, it will take minimum 2 years, subject that the vaccine being implicated to each and every humankind in the world,
Right.
Which is a difficult task. Sorry, I'm getting a little bit more time from your program, but I have to mention this, that there are very few vaccines has already produced and announced to the market. And each vaccine has got their own natural condition, delivery terms and condition. For instance, Pfizer has to be delivered in -80. So -80, you cannot find a container to ship -80. You cannot find the facilities to even ship by air. So you need a special care, because at the last mile, you have to deliver goods in a good condition. Otherwise, there will be a spoilage of the entire vaccine products.
Sure.
So we have to be, especially for the poor countries, for the third countries, even in the Africa and Middle East, we have many countries which are the third countries. So they don't have infrastructure. They need infrastructure to accept those vaccines. And as soon as the vaccines, at least 80 to 90%, and to my opinion, 100% has to be implemented, we cannot see any cure for this virus. And I cross my fingers and I pray to God that everybody keeps safe. And I would like to thank you very much, Melvin, for you and your team, an excellent job you have done today. And I will remain at this disposal of our good friends and colleagues. By the way, we are over 40 years company in freight forwarding with different activities. I don't want to take your precious time. If you need anything in Iran or in transit to neighboring countries, it doesn't matter what kind of mode of shipment, we take care about your shipments as a particular parcel. Thank you very much and have a nice day.
Thanks for sharing your
meeting.
opinion. Tino, very quickly with you. What do you think we will go back to pre-pandemic levels, and your outlook for Zimbabwe?
What worries me most is that when the outbreak took place, there was a serious state of unpreparedness on the part of the people worldwide, everywhere. No one was prepared for this pandemic. So this is why it is pretty unpredictable. You can't be so accurate in predicting when exactly this is likely to be kept under control or to be suppressed to the extent that people will return to normal life. But that as it may, I would like to applaud the efforts being done by those in the medical fraternity. They are working tirelessly to try and ensure that normalcy is brought back throughout the world. Though, of course, we've got other opinions, but we must applaud them for the efforts that they have made so far. They have done a splendid job coming up with vaccines in a very short period of time. So we want to think that going forward, perhaps within 2 years' time, we will have managed to bring this pandemic under control to the extent that we may not 100% go back to our normal lives, but at least it will be under manageable levels to the extent that it doesn't disrupt the normal way of conducting business worldwide. Right now, it's quite a very terrible situation. People are not sure as to whether tomorrow there might be another hike in the outbreak, because as you can see today, you are told it's under control, numbers are going down, tomorrow they go up, this and that. This is why I'm saying it's pretty difficult to be able to accurately predict, but let's remain positive and know that a human being is a fighter who looks for success wherever he is. So we will succeed. Perhaps in 2 years' time, things will have normalized to around 80%.
Right. Thanks, Tino, for leaving us on that positive note. I mean, we all are looking for hope, and that's the best case scenario we can hope for, is that you know, the virus is in a manageable way and we can all get back to our lives. So once again, thank you all for your contribution, your opinions and views on the new normal. I'm sure everyone agrees that it was good to see perspectives from different markets around the globe. And that concludes the panel discussion. Thank you all.